You can't sell my daughter!
It's legal, dear. Hand over the child.
You ever have one of those moments where your whole world just stops? Like, 1 second you're holding your newborn, feeling like life's finally falling into place, and the next, some power-hungry HOA tyrant is banging a gavel, trying to auction off your baby like she's a piece of furniture? Yeah, that happened to me, Emily Carter, in a cookie-cutter neighborhood called Willow Creek, and let me tell you, it's a story that still gives me chills. It all started in October 2022, in a hospital room that smelled like antiseptic and hope. My husband, Jake, and I had just welcomed our daughter, Ava, after years of heartbreak miscarriages, endless doctor visits, and prayers that felt like they were bouncing off the ceiling. Ava was our miracle, this tiny bundle with a scrunched-up nose and the softest little coos that could melt you on the spot. Jake was sitting there on the hospital bed, his eyes all red from happy tears, whispering, she's perfect. I remember holding her close, her little fingers curling around mine, thinking, this is everything we've been fighting for. We brought Ava home to our little 2-story house in Willow Creek, a place where every lawn's manicured to death, every mailbox is regulation height, and the HOA runs the show like it's their personal kingdom. Enter Linda Voss, the HOA president, a woman with a blonde bob so sharp it could cut glass, and eyes that stared right through you like you were a smudge on her windshield. Linda was the kind of person who'd knock on your door to complain your rose bushes were half an inch too tall, then smile like she was doing you a favor. Jake and I had dealt with her before, stupid stuff, like her saying our porch light was too modern, or our welcome mat wasn't community approved. I'm an FBI agent, been tracking financial crimes for a decade, so I'm used to dealing with rule sticklers, but Linda? She was next-level obsessive. We got home from the hospital on a crisp Tuesday morning, Ava bundled up in her car seat, Jake lugging our bags. I was still in that new mom haze, you know, where you're half exhausted, half over the moon. But then Jake stopped dead on our front porch, staring at a piece of paper taped to our door. It had the Willow Creek HOA logo, fancy, pretentious, with curlicue letters, and his hands were shaking as he peeled it off. You need to see this, he said, his voice tight. I propped Ava's car seat on the ground and grabbed the paper. It read, Dear Mr. and Mrs. Carter, due to unpaid fines totaling $2,682.19, the Willow Creek HOA will auction personal property at 1423 Oak Lane to recover the debt. Auction date, October 20th, 10 a.m., Willow Creek Community Center. Final notice. I read it twice, 3 times, my heart pounding like a drum. Fines. We'd never missed a payment, never gotten a single violation notice. I looked at Jake, his face pale as a ghost, and said, This has to be a mistake, right? I'm the kind of person who keeps receipts for everything, every HOA fee, every utility bill, every grocery run. I knew we didn't owe a dime. So I grabbed my laptop, plopped Ava in her bouncer, and we spent hours combing through bank statements, emails, everything. Nada. Not one late payment, not one warning. Jake was pacing, muttering, This is insane, They can't just make this up. I was already in FBI mode, my brain screaming fraud. I called the HOA office, and Linda picked up, her voice all syrupy and smug. Willow Creek HOA, this is Linda speaking. I cut right to it. Linda, it's Emily Carter. We got your auction notice. We don't owe anything. What's going on? She paused, then said, cool as ice. Oh, Emily, I'm sorry you're confused, but you've ignored multiple violation notices. The fines piled up. It's all legal, dear. Check the bylaws if you don't believe me. I pushed back. What violations? We've never seen a single notice. She just chuckled, like she was humoring a child. Maybe check your mailbox more often. Auction's in 5 days. Good luck. Click. She hung up, and I just stood there, Ava fussing in the background, my blood boiling. That night, I barely slept. Jake and I took turns rocking Ava, but my mind was racing. This wasn't just about money, something felt off, sinister even. Linda had always been a control freak, but this was next level. The next morning, I strapped Ava into her car seat and drove to the HOA office, a stuffy little room above the local bakery, all motivational posters and fake plants. Linda was there, typing away, looking like she'd just stepped out of a country club. I set Ava's car seat down and said, I want to see the violation notices. Show me proof we owe this money. She slid a folder across her desk with this smug little smile. It's all there, Emily. I opened it. 5 notices, each one dumber than the last. Unapproved mailbox color, grass too long, blinds not regulation compliant. Stuff we'd never done. But here's the thing, I've seen enough forged documents in my career to spot a fake. The paper was wrong, the font was off, the HOA logo looked like a bad photocopy. I looked her dead in the eye. These are forged, Linda. I'm an FBI agent. I know fraud when I see it. For a split second, her mask slipped, pure panic in her eyes, but then she leaned back, all calm again. That's a serious accusation, Emily. You'd need proof. Auctions in 4 days. Good luck. I grabbed Ava and stormed out, her parting shot ringing in my ears. You should have just paid the fines. It's only going to get worse. Worse? How could it get worse? I found out on October 20th. I'd spent days trying to stop this, called lawyers, but they needed time or money we didn't have. My FBI partner, Nate Brooks, was rushing the forged documents to our forensics team, but it wasn't fast enough. That morning, Jake and I dressed up, me with my badge clipped to my belt, my service weapon tucked under my jacket. I wasn't taking chances. We bundled Ava in a tiny knit sweater from my mom and headed to the community center, this big, sterile hall where they held bake sales and kid recitals. I wasn't leaving Ava at home, not with Linda pulling this kind of stunt. The place was packed with neighbors, some giving us pitying looks, others avoiding us like we had the plague. Linda stood on a stage, gavel in hand, flanked by 3 HOA goons in suits, looking like they were auditioning for a mob movie. She tapped the gavel, all business, and said, "Thank you for joining us. We're here to recover unpaid fines from residents who violated HOA rules." Her eyes locked on mine. First lot, the Carters of 1423, Oak Lane. Debt, $2,682.19. We'll start with their living room furniture. Bidding at $400. I was floored. Our couch, our TV, our life up for grabs like it was a yard sale. I stood up, Ava in my arms, and shouted, "This is illegal. We don't owe anything." Linda didn't even blink. $400. Do I hear $500? Hands went up. Our neighbors, people we'd waved to, shared coffee with, were bidding on our stuff. Jake was furious, yelling, "You're all thieves," but the bids kept climbing. Our dining table went for $300, our books for $100. I was shaking, tears burning my eyes, whispering to Ava, "It's okay, baby, mommy's got you." Then Linda's voice cut through the room like a knife. Lot 15, 1 female infant, approximately 2 weeks old, property of Emily and Jake Carter. Starting bid, $10,000. The room went dead silent. I swear I stopped breathing. Jake grabbed my arm, whispering, "Did she just say?" I couldn't answer. My vision blurred, my knees buckled. Linda was trying to sell my daughter. A guy in a slick suit raised his hand. $10,000. The crowd erupted, some yelling it was wrong, others just watching like it was a reality show. A woman called out, $12,000. I screamed, "Stop! She's my daughter," and pushed toward the stage. Ava clutched tight. 2 of Linda's goons blocked me, one growling, "Sit down, ma'am, this is legal." Legal? I was losing it. You can't sell a human being. This is kidnapping. But the bids kept coming. $15,000, $18,000. I broke free, ran at Linda, screaming, "Stop this now." She just smiled, raised her gavel. Going once, going twice. $20,000. Bang. Sold to Mr. and Mrs. Larson. The Larsons, a couple in their 50s I didn't even know, stood up, the woman reaching for Ava like she was picking up a grocery order. "No." I backed away, sobbing. "She's not for sale." Cops hired by the HOA moved in, one saying, "Ma'am, the paperwork's legal. Hand over the child." The woman, Mrs. Larson, had tears in her eyes, saying, "We'll take good care of her, honey. We've always wanted a baby." I was screaming, "She's mine. She's 2 weeks old," but hands were on me, prying Ava from my arms. Jake was fighting too, but they held him back. Ava was crying, her little wails breaking my heart as Mrs. Larson carried her away. I collapsed, sobbing so hard I couldn't breathe. Linda up there counting her cash with a smirk. Back home, our house was a shell furniture gone, just bare floors and echoes. Jake held me as I cried until my eyes were dry. But I wasn't just a mom, he was an FBI agent, and Linda had just messed with the wrong person. I called Nate, my voice shaking. They took Ava, Nate. They sold her. He was at our house in an hour, laptop and all, ready to tear Willow Creek apart. We spread out the forged notices, our bank records, everything. Nate spotted it right away. The letterhead was inconsistent. The dates didn't add up. This is fraud, Em. And selling Ava? That's human trafficking. We dug deeper, and what we found made my stomach turn. Linda had done this before to other families in Willow Creek. Fake fines, auctions, kids sold. The Larsons had bought another child 2 years ago, a boy from a family called the Mendozes. This wasn't just Linda, it was a network. Nate called in the cavalry, FBI, SWAT, search warrants, the works. By dawn, we hit the Larsons' mansion, 40 miles away in a ritzy suburb. I sat in the van, heart in my throat, as the team stormed in. Then I heard it over the radio, "Baby's secure." I ran inside, past agents, past Mr. Larson in his pajamas yelling about receipts. Ava was in a crib, wearing a frilly dress I didn't recognize, but she was okay. I scooped her up, tears streaming, whispering, "Mommy's here, baby." She looked at me, those big eyes calming, like she knew it was me. The Larsons were sobbing, saying, "We thought it was legal." I didn't care. I had my daughter back. Next stop, Linda's house. Nate said she tried to bolt out the back in her bathrobe, but agents nabbed her mid-fence climb, screaming about her rights. They found a gold mine in her office, forged documents, bank records showing $600,000 in auction profits, emails linking her to shady HOAs across 3 states. Linda wasn't just a bully. She was running a trafficking ring, hiding behind HOA bylaws. Her board members got rounded up too, all claiming they didn't know, but the paper trail said otherwise. The trial was a circus, cameras everywhere, headlines screaming, "HOA queen sells babies." I testified, reliving every gut-wrenching moment, staring at Linda as she sat there, stone-faced, no remorse. The prosecutor, a bulldog named Carla Hayes, shredded her defense, laying out the forgeries, the money, the stolen kids. Linda Voss didn't just break the law, Carla told the jury. She stole childhoods, families, for profit. The jury didn't blink, guilty on human trafficking, fraud, extortion. Linda got 25 years. Her goons got 10 each. The Larsons and others who'd bought kids got probation for cooperating, but I couldn't look at them without feeling sick. We moved after that, to a quiet town with no HOA, just a big yard where Ava could run free. I took a new role with the FBI, heading a task force on HOA fraud. Turns out, Linda's scam was just the tip of the iceberg. Corrupt HOAs are everywhere, fleecing families, foreclosing homes over petty fines. I've busted dozens since, each case a reminder of what we went through. Ava's 3 now, a whirlwind of giggles and pigtails, chasing butterflies in our backyard. She doesn't know what happened, and I'm glad. But I'll never forget. Some nights, I still dream of that auction, Linda's gavel, Ava's cries. Then I check on her, sleeping with her stuffed bunny, and I know we won. 3 years ago today, Linda tried to take everything from us. Now we're celebrating Ava's birthday, burgers on the grill, friends laughing, Ava smearing frosting on her face. I got a text from Carla during the party, another win in Oregon. Keep fighting. And I will. Because love beats greed, family beats corruption, and justice? It's worth everything. So what do you think? Ever dealt with an HOA nightmare, or someone abusing power like Linda? Drop a comment, share your story, I want to hear it. And if this hit you, give it a like, subscribe, tell me where you're watching from. Let's talk about what justice really means in neighborhoods like these.